Salve a tutti genti e bentornati qui con The Cat Lady. E mi sa che ho fatto game over, Mi sa proprio che ho fatto game over. Scusatemi se non ho parlato all'inizio, ma volevo vedere se era uno scherzo o qualcosa di questo tipo, perché non capivo sinceramente. Però mi sa che ho fatto proprio game over, non posso muovere niente. È apparso la cosa sotto, però non posso muovere niente. O forse... Forse no. La morte non è niente, sono solamente passato dall'altra parte. È come se fossi nascosto nella stanza accanto. Io sono sempre io e tu sei sempre tu. Ciò che eravamo l'uno per l'altra lo siamo ancora. Ah, siamo ritornati, mi sa, alla parte in cui si parlava con Mitzi. Ha cambiato tra l'altro vestito, bello. Ti sei
Hope you don't mind creepy posters.
No.
It's your room. You can do what you like with it. But I definitely prefer this to fairies, rainbows and pink unicorns.
Anch'io, sinceramente, anch'io.
Did you make these?
No. My boyfriend made them. Some of them, anyway. So, Miss Ashworth, I happen to have a bottle of wine in my bag. I was going to leave it to Robert, but I forgot all about it.
Robert?
The guy with the rats?
Ah, ecco.
Oh, yes. Of course.
So, shall we have a drink then? We could get to know each other a bit more. I know, I promised I won't get in the way. And, I mean, you don't have to if you don't feel like it. But since we're going to live together for a little while, it won't hurt if we talk to each other, will it?
Ma sì, facciamoci una bevuta, facciamo un po' di conversazione, vero Susan? Ubriachiamoci, yeah! Facciamo baldoria. Inoltre, credo che sia una buona cosa, dai.
Yeah, that's okay, I guess.
Great! I'll bring the wine. Oh, damn. It's one of those bottles with a cork. Have you got a bottle opener, Miss Ashworth?
In the kitchen. I'll go get it, shall I?
Yes, please. And while you're there, could you get a couple of glasses too?
Ok, so dove andarle a prendere. So dove andarle a prendere, quindi farò anche abbastanza in fretta. Il cavatappi l'avevo visto. A proposito, gente, non so se l'avete notato, ma mentre eravamo, c'era un primo piano, si poteva vedere che c'era un poster con scritto in basso Dream Adventure Game. Messaggi subliminali, né Susan, né? Vabbè, non si fa così. Vabbè, andiamo a prendere sti bicchieri e sto cavatappi. Pianoforte. Mobiletto. Apriti. Vai su. A volte bugga di brutto. Prendere i bicchieri. Ok, perfetto. Abbiamo trovato i bicchieri. E via. E andiamo a cercare qualcos'altro. Il nostro bellissimo cavatappi. Porta del bagno. Adesso che ci penso, perché l'ho lasciata aperta? Chiudiamola, che è abbastanza inquietante in certi momenti. Entriamo in cucina. In cucinino andiamo. Interruttore, che odio questa lugubricità di questa casa, che già una volta mi ha fatto un bruttissimo scherzo con l'ombra del dottor X che mi impugnalava. Perfetto, quindi non voglio avere problemi. Ora un bel cavatappi. Prendi i cavatappi e vai. Ok, abbiamo preso quello che dobbiamo prendere e andiamo. Mi piace molto questa musica, devo dire. È la più rilassante di tutte quelle che ci sono. Molto... C'è una cosa che non ho notato prima. Ma c'è l'edera lì. Ah no, forse è in un vaso. Pensavo fosse filtrata dentro dalla casa. Da fuori, dico. In quel caso sarebbe proprio una catapecchia allucinante sta casa. Vabbè. Mi sono anche dimenticata di La cosa strana... Ah no, questa è l'ombra. Ok, è l'ombra, va bene. Nello specchio. Stanza degli ospiti. Stanza degli ospiti. Apriti. Entrare. Ok. Bellissima la magliettina con giallo e nero. Mi piace molto. Miz, complimenti. Mizzi, ho sbagliato. Hai avuto un bellissimo... No, aspetta, non parlare.
Have you found that corkscrew yet? You also need some...
Ok, allora ho sbagliato. Bicchieri. Diamoli.
I found some wine
Great! Now all we need is a...
Ok. Cavatappi. No, aspettate un secondo. Magari si vede? No, non si vede. Cavatappi. Utilizzare. Dare.
There you go. Let's get that bottle opened.
Perfetto, siamo a posto. Ora possiamo
All
ubriacarci.
right. That's all we need. Oh, and Miss Ashworth, I really must say this before we start.
Yeah?
Sì.
I promise I won't cut your throat when you're asleep.
Very funny, Mitzi.
Oh, no, I mean it.
That's fine. But just so you know, I always sleep with my eyes open.
Bene, a questo è ancora più inquietante. Vai con la sbronza. Mizzi? No. Non sul cornicione, per l'amor del cielo. Se poi siamo ubriache mi cadi di sotto e dopo è colpa mia. Ti prego, ho già avuto abbastanza morti sulla coscienza, tra cui Liz, quella poveretta che... poverina. Davvero... bastardo del dottor X. Beh, non ho... effettivamente è morta solo lei. E forse era già morta quando mi ha parlato, quando ero nel letto dell'ospedale. Quindi chi lo sa. Boh. Allora, il grande C, ne vuoi parlare? Oh, non piove più. Cominciamo con i convenevoli. Effettivamente non piove più.
Oh, it's not raining anymore.
Oh, well, I don't mind rain. Sometimes I even like it. But according to weather forecast, there's a nasty fog coming. Now that I'm actually scared of. I got lost in a fog once, when I was just 9 or 10. I remember I sat under a tree crying, thinking some monster would appear right in front of me and drag me away.
But now that you're a big girl, you know there are no monsters.
Non si è giocato Silent Hill?
How do you know?
Vediamo. Non ho mai visto uno, mai visto qualcun altro. I mostri siamo noi, assassini e stupratori piromani.
The only monsters are us. Murderers, rapists, arsonists. They're the real beasts. So far from humanity, they're no longer capable of feeling compassion or guilt.
Vero.
They're the ones we should really be afraid of.
Già.
But whether they're lurking in the woods or fog or the darkness of our cellars, it's all irrelevant. You can't predict what happens. You can't do anything to stop it. There is only one way. You turn into a beast yourself, and like them, you show no mercy.
Questo è brutto però.
Whoa! Where did that come from, Miss Ashworth?
I just don't like murderers. They're nothing but... parasites.
Ben detto. Ben detto, Susan. Come pensi di trovare questo tizio? No, parliamo di grande C.
So, the big C. Want to talk about it?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really want to tell you about it like that. put you in a very difficult position, I know. It's just that I was really desperate to get this room. I hope you can understand. This is the last and most important thing I must do before my time is up.
It's fine. You seem alright. It's just... I find it hard to trust people these days. Maybe it's time I opened my eyes to see others have problems too. Some, like yourself, even bigger than mine.
Capito. Ben detto, Susan. Ben detto.
What kind of cancer is it? Do you mind me asking?
Brain tumor. Her name is glioblastoma.
Haha.
Yep, they're all girls, the way I imagine it. Just look at their names. Lymphoma, melanoma, myeloma, leukemia, sarcoma. Each of them a fucking goddess of death. Beautiful and ruthless.
You might just be right about that, Mitzi. I used to be a nurse. I know a few things about cancer.
È vero che aveva detto di essere un'infermiera prima.
And I know glioblastoma. She's a real bitch.
Wow.
Yeah, and yet she gets to be the prom queen before night ends, while I disappear down the back exit.
How long?
They said I had a year. But that was 6 months ago, so... yeah. Not awfully long.
Is there anything...
They've tried.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So am I. Do you want to talk about something else?
Oh, pesante, pesante veramente. Molto pesante, ragazzi.
How are you planning to find this guy?
I don't know yet. A bit of detective work, perhaps. It shouldn't be that hard, really. There are only 8 apartments here. One is yours. That leaves us with 7. I was hoping that you could give me a hand, actually. You know some of your neighbors, don't you?
Not many. I never really cared about them.
Infatti.
They changed over the years too. You probably also figured by now that this is not the sort of place where new neighbors are greeted with a freshly baked cake. You see a new face, you give them a blank stare as you pass them in the hall, and you forget about them a minute later.
That bad, eh?
Well, there's that bald guy who lives above me in flat 5. He came here recently to shout in my face. He's a nasty piece of work, but I really don't think he's the person you're looking for.
What does he do for a living?
I think he's a train driver.
I can't imagine somehow that my guy would be a train driver. Okay, that's good. Leaves us with just 6. Anyone else you know?
I'd have to think.
You know, maybe not tonight. Let's just talk about something else, okay? I have plenty of time. There's no need to rush this. Maybe tomorrow we could sit down together and make a plan. I could draw a simple map of the building, and with your help, mark down who lives where.
Mi sa che tu mi vuoi coinvolgere,
Sounds
né?
good to me, Mitzi. You mentioned a boyfriend. Tell me something about him.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about him. His name is Jack.
Si
He's
chiamava?
dead.
Ah. Oh,
Oh,
non l'avrei potuto
Miss
dire meglio.
Ashworth, are you sure you want to listen about my miserable life? I don't want to bring you down. These aren't happy stories.
and I'm not a happy stories kind of person. I'm sure you've noticed by now.
I guess so. Anyway, I suppose I would have had to tell you about Jack sooner or later. After all, he is the main reason I'm here. I just don't know where to start.
Vediamo un po',
Tell
partiamo
me
da
how
qua.
you two met.
Oh, we knew each other for like forever. We grew up on the same street. It's funny how we seem to be made for each other. Perfect match. I always knew he was the guy for me, and I'm sure he never doubted that either. Jack was absolutely crazy about me. We thought one day we would marry, have children, be happy. I never had many friends because I had Jack. I didn't need anybody else.
Wow.
You know, if there's one thing I'm really grateful for in my life, it's that I got to experience this pure, perfect love. Some people go through a lifetime without knowing how it feels.
È vero. È vero.
I guess I've been very lucky.
Immagino di sì.
But all luck runs out sometimes.
Questa sa proprio di tragedia. Prepariamoci, gente, deve essere una storia veramente pesante. Come hai preso la notizia del tuo cancro?
How did he take the news about your cancer?
He thought I was joking at first. He laughed. And he got really angry. I swore to him I was serious, but he still wouldn't believe me. We had a big fight that night. It was our first and only fight. But it was awful. He smashed some stuff. His guitar, of all things, was the worst. He loved that guitar. Why did he break it? He was absolutely furious. He walked out on me that night, and when he came back the next day, he was different. Begged me to try surgery and chemotherapy. I didn't really want those things, but I did the chemo for him. It didn't help. It just made me feel sick all the time. I felt trapped in this strange place where nothing that happened around me seemed real. Maybe that's why I didn't see what my cancer was doing to Jack, and it was destroying him as well. He changed. He became obsessed with death. It seemed death was all he ever thought about, even though it was me, not him, who was supposed to die.
Oh mio Dio. Trovo che ci siano delle strane analogie con quello che Susan, cioè che io ho scelto, facendolo dire a Susan, al dottor X. Non so se però sia la stessa cosa. Cioè la madre si è ammalata di cancro, il padre è impazzito in un certo senso. Oh mio Dio. Non so se cambia così tanto il gioco, cioè sarebbe incredibile se fosse veramente così.
Jack made those pictures on your wall. Was he an artist?
He always liked all kinds of morbid stuff, whether it was music, movies, paintings. So do I, really. We had that in common, amongst other things. People say it's depressing to listen to sad songs or watch sad films, but I never felt that way.
And yet, you are scared of fog?
Oh, that's different.
Beh,
I might be scared of fog, but I like spiders. They're beautiful.
You must be out of your mind, Mitzi.
No, honestly, there's a certain indescribable beauty in sadness.
ma non nei ragni.
Just like there's beauty in the grey and ugly winter morning when you look past the obvious and notice what others can't see.
Che bello.
You must love my apartment then. It's like ugly took a vacation here and never went home again.
Ok gente, siamo arrivati al punto più brutto. Sto fiutando l'odore del tragico allucinante fin dalla prima frase. Prepariamoci, mi sa che sarà veramente pesante.
How did he die? How did Jack die?
It was so distant to the last few weeks before he died. What I didn't know was that he kept looking for something. I don't think he even knew what exactly. But it eventually found him. Or rather, he found him.
Oh?
There are those forums online, you know, about all sorts of stuff. Fishing, computer games, horses, gambling, addictions. Everything, really. Accidentally, Jack stumbled upon one about suicide.
Oh, merda.
There's a guy there. Calls himself the Eye of Adam. He's a fucking god on that forum. It's like a failed suicide club. People mostly try to help each other and offer support. Sometimes it just helps to know there are others like you. To listen to their stories and how they cope with their lives. But the Eye of Adam is an advocate of death. He dwells on human weakness.
Come un
His
parassita.
job is to plant an idea, to give them a reason to die and tell them how to do it, once and for good.
Come un parassita.
Jack took the bait. Before he knew, he was completely brainwashed. One day he sat down with me and tried to explain his perfect solution. It was the Romeo and Juliet kind of scenario. We were both to die together in each other's arms. It was supposed to be a quick and foolproof death. There was no chance we would have been saved. All thanks to the Eye of Adam, who created a tool for perfect suicide. He told me it was very simple. All we needed were 2 easily accessible household chemicals, which combined together create a gas called hydrogen sulfide that kills you within a couple of minutes. I told him he was fucking nuts, of course, but he just wouldn't give up. He reasoned with me, and he begged, and eventually just kept screaming at me.
Mamma
I
mia.
figured it was his crazy idea of a modern romance, but it was downright tacky and just wrong. Finally, he said he would get everything ready and wait for me in our special place at dawn. 5 in the morning. Don't be late. Those were his last words he said to me. Then he stormed out. I cried for hours, thinking I didn't deserve all that from the person I loved most in the whole world. A few times I even tried to persuade myself that maybe he was right and I should do it. But I just couldn't. I eventually fell asleep. I didn't plan it. My head was killing me. I was so tired.
Ai.
I woke up suddenly. I could see the sun rising out my window. It was nearly 5. In utter panic, I threw myself off the bed and ran out the door. I needed to stop him. I needed to get there before it was too late.
Ma.
But right there in my bedroom, before I even left, I already knew it was.
Oh.
When I arrived at our special place, it was already bright. We used to go there in the past, drink wine, sometimes smoke weed and listen to Pink Floyd, sometimes make love in Jack's car. There wasn't really anything special about that old parking lot. But to us there was. It was completely abandoned. It was quiet. It was safe. After that day, I've never gone there again.
Giochiamo con lei? Mi sa di sì. Oh mio Dio. Cosa troveremo? Che cavolo? C'era gas infiammabile e tossici, gas infiammabili e tossici, stop. Che cavolo? Oddio, si è ammazzato col gas.
I'm so sorry. I think now I understand. He loved you so much, he couldn't bear the thought of living without you. And that guy, the Eye of Adam. I'm not surprised you want to find him. I know I would. I'm not sure if I should believe that you only want to talk to him. But hey, that's none of my business. I wouldn't know what I'd do if this happened to me.
Sono tentata ad aiutarti.
Good to know, but I really just want to talk. I want to face Jack's killer and tell him what he's done to me. You know, the funny part is that he actually told me where he lives. He wants to meet me. Would you believe that?
How come?
Well, this kind of thing he does is called trolling on the internet. It's usually a form of extreme bullying, psychological cruelty. Those who are clever enough say, don't feed the troll. Don't talk to them. It only makes it worse if you show any interest in them at all. And Eye of Adam is no exception. He craves attention. He's a hungry troll who wants to devour as many hearts as he can get a hold of. I emailed him and told him I was a massive fan who loves his work. He wouldn't believe me at first. But trolls are always hungry, and I was prepared to serve him a meal fit for a king.
What do you mean?
I fed him so much bullshit that he really believed I'm a suicide preacher just like him.
Great.
Veramente, brava.
I wish he'd given you his door number, though.
It's all a part of some sick game he's playing. Sooner or later, I'll find him.
There were signs on the car windows.
Warning signs, yeah. I found on that forum that the Eye of Adam doesn't want any accidental deaths, so he posted this poster design for people to print. It turns out there's a whole sick ideology behind it. Fumes from the car could hurt anyone who opens the door, and that's not the point. The idea is to die willingly and with clear mind, to prepare for it, to embrace it.
Jesus. You'd think the police would investigate the whole thing. Sounds almost like a sect.
This guy knows how to hide. The police can't be bothered to make an effort. It took me 3 months to track him down. Now I'm finally so close. I can almost smell that fucker.
What are those two chemical products?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to know that.
Non mi ammazzerò, tranquilla. Sono immortale.
I get it. You don't want to tell me because I'm a fucking suicidal maniac. Is that it?
No, Miss Ashworth. No, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. Maybe to some extent. Just replace maniac with victim and fucking with recovering. You've only just come back from the hospital. Whatever it was that made you do it, you proved you are capable of going through with it. I don't know you long enough to tell you if you're completely over it now. And the last thing I want is to give you stupid ideas. It would be just like what the Eye of Adam does. I would never forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me. I mean, how could I?
What if I promise to you I will never do it again?
Okay. Alright. But if you don't keep your promise, Miss Ashworth, I'll find you in hell and kick your lying ass for breaking my already broken heart.
Oh,
You
beh.
can't kick my ass when I'm dead.
I'll soon be dead too, Miss Ashworth. So, yeah, I swear I will do it.
In pratica
I don't think so.
ci vedremo all'inferno.
You'll go to heaven, you muppet.
The recipe for this deadly cocktail is very simple. Any good housewife can make it in a blast.
E ovviamente io non lo sento. Bene. Bene gente, andremo avanti nella prossima parte. Spero vi sia piaciuto il let's play e arrivederci e ciao!